sort of break it down like this.
Boom.
Gang hang, a prompt gang hang today. We are starting on time. My name is Matt Baum. Joe Patrick can't hear himself, but he is here. Joe, say hello.
I am here. I remain. That's Joe Patrick.
Yeah, but he just can't hear himself, so he may be screaming. Like people with headphones on, they're like, "What? I can't hear you!" You know.
Yeah, those audio mixing levels up, or down rather.
Todd, to answer your question, we cannot hear you, but it does show that you're muted, so you might have to unmute.
Yeah. So you're down in the bottom, little housekeeping. There's a little microphone you can click on and turn on your mic. And if that doesn't work, you can always just
kidding.
chat.
I never speak.
Yeah, that was a false alarm apparently.
Yeah, don't mess with Grandpa Joe and I. All right, come on.
He's messing with me.
Knock it off.
I want everybody to have a chance to talk. Damn it.
We have all kinds of stuff to talk about in the gang hang this week, but we got to start with the biggest news. Those woke assholes at Marvel did it again, stealing a perfectly good white actor's job, taking a man's job and giving it to a woman, the Silver Surfer. They resexed her, baby. we got a Silver Surfer.
No, they didn't.
No, they didn't. They didn't. I don't think they did. Now that is the popular angry troll story that's going on the internet right now. But the other side of this is that there is precedent for Julia Garner's casting as the Silver Surfer. She will be playing Shala Ball. And for those of us who are paying attention or looked at the internet and followed people who actually pay attention to this shit, there is precedent for a Shala Ball Silver Surfer in the pages of Earth X, which leads a lot of people to believe that this Fantastic Four is not from whatever the number is, the 616 MCU.
So let's break down all the stuff that was released. This week, Marvel also released on 4/4, because it was 4/4 day. Happy 4/4 day.
Yeah, they're making it a thing.
Yeah, they released a new poster or promo image in that same kind of retro futuristic art style. And it featured the Human Torch flying over a skyline that was very much not the modern day or even the 1960s New York skyline. It's like a Jetsons future looking kind of thing. And so and then there was also the casting of Julia Garner as Shala Ball, specifically Shala Ball, version of the Silver Surfer. And so my new theory is that they weren't thrown into the negative zone, or they're not from this Earth at all. They might be from an alternate universe in the 616. Oh, pardon me, I got ahead of myself. The third thing that happened was that Marvel, if you clicked on the poster or on the link that they sent with the poster, went to a 404 not found page with Herbie on it that was like, "Sorry, true believers, your page can't be found."
Totally rad.
But then it was like, or can it? Or perhaps there's a clue somewhere in this page. Like they couldn't leave well enough alone. They had to lead you directly to it.
Of course.
And then if you clicked on that, there was a QR code you could scan, but you could also just click on it. And if you clicked on it, took you to a recommended reading page, sponsored by the Future Foundation, saying, here's what you can read to get prepped for Fantastic Four, the movie. And it was the coming of the first appearance in Fantastic Four number 1, the coming of Galactus in Fantastic Four 48 through 50, which makes sense because of the Surfer casting.
Right.
And then Fantastic Four Life Story by Mark Russell and Sean Isaacs, which was like the Chip Zdarsky Spider-Man story, sort of a what if the FF had aged in real time from 1961?
Right.
What would the world be like? What would they be like? And so my new theory is this. I think that the Fantastic Four are from a universe where they debuted in the 1960s. And the world was allowed to advance as they aged, and Reed Richards actually had an impact on the world,
Yes, I agree.
and Galactus came for them. And there's a different version of the Silver Surfer because it's an alternate universe, whatever. And for some reason, they end up in the MCU Earth.
Do you think it's because Galactus came for their Earth and ate it? And they tried to stop him and got shunted out of their Earth to ours because the ultimate nullifier was not what they thought it was or something? Or I think they lost. I think they failed.
Well,
Yeah, I think so too.
I think something's gonna. It's gonna be like
it could be that. It could be that, or the story of the first movie could be they were out there searching for a way to stop him, but got shunted to another dimension before.
Yeah, negative zone business or something. Yeah,
like the big driving force could be like they don't know if their Earth still survives.
Or Shallabal, your Silver Surfer, shows up with Galactus. We're gonna eat the Earth. Reed goes, I got a thing. We're ready. We're gonna suck them into the negative zone. They'll be trapped there forever. But they all get pulled in, and now he has brought the biggest threat in the Marvel universe to our world, and Reed has to stop it.
Yeah, I think there are a bunch of different ways it could go.
Looking for work right now, Marvel.
My
Just
favorite, my favorite thought is that they don't know if their world is still around because they got lost trying to find the ultimate nullifier or whatever.
Yeah, I bet they accidentally shunt him into our world along with themselves, so they saved their world. But the threat is here.
Now they brought it to our problem.
At the cost of their own.
Yes.
At the cost of their own home.
That's what I'm saying.
Rather, they have to leave their home because they have to go with it. They have to trap him on the other side.
Yeah, just like every time there's a portal, I have to close it from the other side. Like
they just did it in Marvel. They did it in Marvel.
No, it's not worth it. I'm sorry, I'm not Ant-Man. This is what we have to do now. Or whatever. Right?
So yeah, I think that it's going to be
There's
that they are
from
they are from a universe where Reed Richards' genius has drastically impacted the way this world developed.
Yeah.
And they are now stuck in our universe because they had to do it to stop Galactus.
I'm calling my shot on they saved their planet, but they pulled Galactus to
I think that works.
Universe.
That works pretty well as a story.
I love it.
Oh, and also consider now they're here. Now they know that Galactus exists.
Yes.
And they're like,
yeah,
need to be ready because your universe has a Galactus too.
Sure. And okay, so Shallabal is your Silver Surfer. Everyone's mad. How much you want to bet her boyfriend Silver Surfer shows up in the end? And I mean, and we have this Norin Rad Shallabal reunion on surfboards in space. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
But let's say you could have two of them at this point.
That's what I'm saying. You can't not do
it.
it. It's the cover of one of the Earth X's. I mean, come on.
Yeah. I mean, so if she's from a universe where she became the Silver Surfer, and they come to the 616 or whatever the designate is for the Marvel universe, and our universe is the one where Norin Rad became the Silver Surfer, then you can have your cake and eat it too.
Absolutely.
And because just because that movie might end with them sucking Galactus and the Surfer into the negative zone or wherever, that doesn't mean they're gone.
No, Johnny died there.
That's true.
10,000 times, right? They kept rebuilding.
Right? And then that would lead to in a future movie, or depending on how they want to play it, they could set up a whole phase about
Anahilus.
or
actually,
Galactus is coming for the MCU.
I'm with Mark. If there's no Joey Satriani, I'm out. You could be able to give me some surfing with the alien, or okay. So true story. Matt Baum, as a youth, got arrested by Kmart police for trying to shoplift Joey Satriani's Surfing with the Alien.
Oh, Jesus.
Because the cover was too rad and I didn't have any money.
Holy crap.
I gotta do this.
Cover is absolutely amazing.
And when my parents showed up, they were like, do you know why Matt would act out like this? And my mom looked at the Silver Surfer on the cover and she's like, I think I know what's going on here. Yeah.
That's great. That's great.
Kmart police.
Yeah, dude.
of all like freaking felony, not even felonies, just like the whole thing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That was my shoplifting experience as a child. So, but
Oh man,
so what do we think? Let's open the floor. We just talked a lot. What do we think? Julia Garner is our Silver Surfer.
we got a bunch of Kmart cop stories here. Mosaic's wife got arrested by Kmart cops for erasing shopping carts in the parking lot.
Holy shit. That's dope as hell, though.
What do we think about this? What do we think about these theories? Are we into this?
I was just going to say one thing just to add to it. I mean, more or less my thoughts are aligned, but even this whole thing with the Galactus possibilities, I mean, heck, you could even throw in, the end, Galactus and, the whole thing with the negative zone. Maybe in the MCU, because we haven't heard of Galactus, and not to say he didn't exist, but it's possible that he may have somehow been defeated by, and this is how I tie into the male surfer thing, possibly by a rebelling Silver Surfer.
Absolutely.
So maybe it ends with like the shot coming in with like Galactus and who he thought was his long dead girlfriend.
Right
there as his tail. He's like, oh no, he's back.
Yeah, and you got a surfer who shows up and he's like, I already dealt with this. God damn it.
Yeah, pretty much. And what the hell is my dead girlfriend doing with him?
Yeah.
And
so the only things about these theories that I either don't really like or can't figure out yet is, does this mean that there are versions of Reed, Sue, Johnny, and Ben already on our Earth?
Didn't they already discuss that though? When we saw like the alternate, the Illuminati and everything. God, I'm drawing a blank on the movie, the Doctor Strange movie, where
they
discussed like
he mentioned something.
He said there are.
Well, he says, "Weren't you real big in the '60s?"
Well, not just that, but not just that, but the fact that there are alternates, and then there are other worlds where there are heroes we don't even know about and stuff like that. Like didn't they make some comment like that? So maybe we just never had a Fantastic Four.
Like maybe in the sixth one, maybe in the MCU.
They got in the ship, went into space, blew up, dead.
But maybe in the MCU they never became the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Reed Richards was just a famous scientist.
Or they were famous and they called them the Fantastic Four, and it was like, here they go on their legendary 60s spaceship, journey to do whatever, and the ship malfunctions and they died.
Well, that's
possible.
That's not fun.
Well, but I mean,
it's harder to think of. But
that shit happens. You do like something with the 1984 space shuttle crew, and then here they are. No, they're alive from another world, and people go, oh my God, I remember that. Oh, it's a whatever, you could totally do something like that.
So there are a lot of moving parts I think that need to be settled, that need to be kind of figured out. Like, what about Doctor Doom? Because we know we'll get Doctor Doom. Like, why would Doctor Doom be if Victor Von Doom is from the MCU Earth? Why would he be mad at the Reed Richards from an alternate Earth? Or how do the relationships work if they're from an alternate universe?
Because Joe, he was there when he was not with them. He was here on Earth when RFF was planning to do all this amazing stuff and they failed. And Victor Von Doom was like, I told you he was a moron, or I told you, or he sabotaged it and killed them. And when they show up, he's like, curse you, Richards! You figured a way to live. I defeated you once. I'll defeat you again.
I mean, right there. I was saying, one question is Latveria a thing in the MCU? I don't even remember.
They've never said the word Latveria. I don't.
No, I think actually they have. I think they have mentioned it.
In what? I don't recall that being dropped.
Black Panther, maybe.
Maybe not out loud by name, but maybe it's been like
alluded to
in like in a document or on a computer screen or something. Like there's been a reference to Latveria somewhere, I think. I'm not really fond of the idea where like the FF existed in this world at all. I think if they came from an alternate, I think that when they come onto the scene in the MCU, like people should be like, what the fuck?
They
Yeah,
have not
yeah,
mentioned Latveria, but there are people that said Moon Knight made a kind of reference to an iron-fisted dictator of a Russian
Yes.
satellite country, but no,
Something like
not
that,
the
yeah.
word Latveria. So I don't know.
So I think that what if Victor helped them stop Galactus and he got stuck wherever Galactus got stuck? And
Actually, I was
he's
going to
mad
say,
at
I
Reed
like
because they escaped.
Maybe.
I was going to say something though with Doctor Doom. I mean, if they are talking about, obviously they're going to scale back the whole Kang situation at this point, and possibly tied into Secret Wars. Who's to say that Doctor Doom being stuck in like the negative zone for whatever length of time, and he discovers about the multiverse? All of a sudden, you have a brand new big bad.
Yeah.
At this
Right,
point.
like they could, like the Fantastic Four movie, they could use that to completely pivot away from Kang and set up the entire next phase around.
My back is fucking hurt. I can't lay like this.
Frank, your back
That's
is
not
hurt,
Frank,
buddy.
that's Anno.
Oh, Anno, your back is hurt, buddy. I'm going to mute you.
Ouch.
Like they could pivot and set up the entire next phase, and instead of having it be about Kang, have it be about Galactus and Doctor Doom and incursions and all that shit.
Sure, easily. And I think it's already done and done. I think it's happening. Just don't worry about it. You literally have that line in that last Loki series where they're just like, oh yeah, they took care of it. And they could just be like, yeah, that was that. We're done.
We've just been killing them every time they show up. We just shoot them.
Yeah, there it is. Sure. Happens off panel. Don't worry about it.
I think we can all agree that the casting of Julia Garner as the Silver Surfer is not the end of the world.
No, it's not at all.
And she's perfect for it. She's a strange girl.
Because she is
Right.
she is a very talented weirdo.
Yeah, she's a creepy waif little thing. I mean, she's perfect. Yeah. And again, this is Marvel playing three-dimensional chess against the trolls who they know are going to go out there and scream about it and publicize it and bring all this out. And then they go, oh, yeah, guess what? It's not what you thought it was. They've lied to us about so much stuff before and leaked things that had almost nothing to do with stuff or had things to do with the story that were completely different than we thought it was going to be. And I do think that link that they put up to like Earth X and stuff like that, that's them gently saying, to those who know.
There was no link to Earth X. It was Fantastic Four Life Story.
Oh, sorry, Life Story.
But still.
The Coming of Galactus.
Yeah.
And Fantastic Four #1.
There's that cover. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Right there. Man.
I think it'd be hilarious. I think it'd be hilarious if Galactus and the Silver Surfer are in the first 10 minutes of the movie and we never see him again.
Yeah.
They get exterminated with the infinite.
I would totally be into that.
Ultimate nullifier.
Yeah, that is
blow them up.
that is absolutely something they could do as well. Or it starts with this like 10-minute intense action. Oh my God, we've got to stop! And oh no, did we do it? Boom! And then it says like Earth today. Boom! And their ship appears.
Yeah,
They're like, we did it! We're home. We're not home. Where are we? You know?
Yep.
Yeah,
that's my shot. That's the shot I'm calling right there.
I love it.
Although I will say this though, if they don't have Galactus like in any meaningful thing, then unfortunately we'll never have a real live action Galactus that's worth a damn, considering the cloud monster from the last time we saw him.
Let's be careful what we wish for,
yeah.
though, because we got in the Eternals, we got Celestials and stuff like that, and I'm not saying they didn't look kind of neat, but wasn't that cool or a very good movie?
Look neat. The Celestials
doesn't really tie in.
The visuals were the least of the problem.
Yeah, the visuals were the least of the problem, but it's like we're not even touching that shit anymore. And like, I mean, I don't know.
Well, I mean, in the hierarchy of cosmic beings in the Marvel universe, Celestials are a little bit more godlike than Galactus is.
Right, he is a failed Celestial.
He's not a Celestial at all.
He's not Celestial.
He's from the other universe before ours.
Galactus is the last survivor of the
right.
universe that existed before the Big Bang.
That's right. He wears.
I could see them in the MCU though, for the sake of simplicity, making him a Celestial like the Ego.
Yeah.
Yes,
probably.
His name was Galen. Yeah.
I could
because
also
in the Mark Waid Fantastic Four run, they managed to turn him human again temporarily.
Yeah.
Which is pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
I could also see them saying Dr. Doom is from Sokovia because we've already established this place.
Oh no!
Yeah, I hate it.
No.
I don't want it, but they've already established it.
Sokovia
No.
was 100% a stand-in for Latveria. 100%.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I mean, like they even dressed in
just
like
make it a bordering country.
medieval times clothing and shit for some reason.
Yeah, it had everything but a Doombot in the background. It
Yeah.
was exactly that place. Yeah.
Totally.
Been dressed in medieval times clothing. in
Are you
Sokovia.
kidding me? What's her head was like a full-on gypsy when they had like.
I thought they were very
They
Euro
dressed
trash.
in normal clothes.
No, they were
No,
Euro
but-
trash. Like I remember this.
Yeah.
There is that thing where like, you walk into him with his technological suit is always walking around, and then there's always someone dressed like it's 1919. Like,
Totally.
Yeah,
There's
it's
always
true.
someone with an apron, and they're in the thing tied, the babushka, and the thing tied
Right.
around their head. Like that.
Right.
That's the iconography of that place.
Every
And that
time
was-
Captain America
there
shows
were
up and he's
people
like,
in the
"You're not
movie.
free. Don't you see who he is?" He's like, "No, Lord Doom takes care." As they're like making butter or milking cows or something.
they have the torches on. They have the long flaming torches. Like this is
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. The people that
2024.
storm they storm Castle Doom when he accidentally unleashes his monster. You know?
Totally.
You,
Yeah.
you could make a good case of comparing Latveria to North Korea, basically.
Yeah, I think they could
Because-
do something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Well,
would
Doom is
be
more
it.
effective, unfortunately.
Frank, can you
Yeah.
Frank, can you back off your mic just a little bit? You're breaking up. But I like that idea where it's like, look, like Wakanda was a secret place or whatever. They knew about it. Latveria could
Right.
be the same type thing where it's just like, well, you know, they've got like that crazy dictator that keeps the place shut down, so nobody really knows what goes on and everything, you know.
Well, I mean, the thing though is that I don't think they depicted Sokovia as a dictatorship, though. I agree with Brian that it's definitely a stand-in for Latveria.
Totally.
But
Yeah.
they didn't really build it, like
Latveria.
the people
they
in
should make
Sokovia
Latveria-
didn't seem like they were oppressed.
Wasn't-
They were just under attack.
Isn't Zemo from
Right, but I
Sokovia?
can see.
He is
I
from
can-
Sokovia
Yeah.
in
I
Barentino.
can see-
Okay.
Yeah,
Him
he
showing up
was a
and
member
going-
of the. He was just in the
Yeah.
army, of the Sokovian army.
He was a baron, actually.
No, he was a-
remember that was a whole
He was
baron
royalty.
part. He revealed that. So
He was
Right,
I can
like,
see Doom
I mean-
showing up and going, "Of course, I hid Latveria from you. I saw what happened to Sokovia."
Oh, sure. I mean, if like Doom is camouflaging Latveria like Wakanda style.
That's why
I would
everybody
totally-
looks
Yeah.
like they're at the Ren Fair. It's all
totally
magic
buy
and it's all smoke and mirrors. You show up and you're like, this place sucks. There's cow shit everywhere. They don't even have, there's like straw on the floor. Like, what is this?
Yeah, Sokovia was a monarchy, not a dictatorship.
So my 2 cents on this is this is the Fantastic Four. This is Marvel's premier first family of comics. I know that they're going to treat it reverently because it is.
Yeah.
And I think if they did anything else, you know, there have been how many missteps with the Fantastic Four along the way where people that weren't Marvel took care of it. The last Fantastic Four movie was, what the hell was that?
Good Lord.
That wasn't Ben Grimm. That was
Fantastic Four.
Ugh.
and fantastic.
Yeah.
yeah, it was terrible. I mean, I still want to see that Roger Corman Fantastic Four movie. I've never actually seen it.
It's great.
I've seen like
I'm telling you, it's great.
You know, and that's kind of what I
Great.
think. I think that it's like kind of like secretly it's secretly good.
Yes.
In the way that Highlander is good, in the way that Hawk the Slayer is good. It's
Yes
ultra
to all of
cheesy.
this. Yes to all of this, in the sense that Roger Corman had such reverence for the characters
Right.
that, like, it's written like a comic book. It sounds like
Right.
Reed and Sue. It looks like shit because they pulled their budget like 17
Well, they have
times.
no budget,
At
yeah.
first, they were like, "You're gonna make it for like 30 million." He was like, "Great." They're like, "We meant 3 million." He was like, "Whatever." And like, "Sorry, 300,000 is what we were talking about." Like the comma on our typewriter was just all jacked up, and he was like,
And he
"I
said,
don't care.
accept it."
Let's
Yeah,
do it." And I love it.
Frank, pause. Could you push your microphone away from your face a little bit?
I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. You're just
Because,
you're kind of that's much better.
It
You're
was
kind
just
of blown
breaking
out.
up really bad.
Okay. I changed mics, and this one's a little more sensitive, I think.
It's hot. Yeah, you're
I
hot
think
on
you
the
could
mic.
even go.
Yeah.
I think you could even go a little farther away.
How's that?
That's better.
Maybe the next room?
Yeah, stand in the corner and yell
Hey,
at it.
could you shut off your microphone, please, Frank?
Is that better? Or am I not? I don't want
No,
to
no, that's great.
blow anybody's ears out.
No. You're great. You're great.
I didn't realize how sensitive this mic was.
No, I'm excited
Frankly,
for this news though, and I think
Just go talk to us from Jersey.
I think they're gonna have. Well, be careful. There's earthquakes there. So.
Away from the
I don't want to get caught in another earthquake.
Yeah, don't go stand in the earthquake
Don't be near
weather.
Lebanon.
They're having
Oh,
serious
Jersey.
earthquake weather in Jersey these days, so be careful. I think it's exciting news, and I think it's fun, and they're going to play with this, and it's going to be wacky. And guess what? The Fantastic Four is the place to do all this. This is where you do all this. Ant-Man, maybe not so much, and that was kind of a problem. FF, this is what they do. So I'm hoping. I have high hopes.
I mean, another theory I saw was that the explanation for the weird skyline is that the FF are trapped in the quantum realm, which
No.
we
so.
did
No.
that. We did that. We did that already. We did that.
Yeah, I don't need it.
Just have them be from an alternate Earth. I don't know. I'm kind of torn. I'm kind of torn. It also could be the poster doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like,
It could be red herring.
It's retro futuristic style that it doesn't necessarily mean anything.
yeah, stop.
Well, you ever see those old propaganda, like those ones that make the world a better future from
Yes.
the 60s, and they
Right,
show the
yeah,
future
yeah,
that was
exactly.
nothing like that.
Right.
So,
Right.
And maybe it's all part of the campaign for what they're going to do for this like new energy source that's going to take us into space, and then Doctor Doom sabotages them and they blow up, and we never heard about it again until they return.
It's
What you gonna do in Quantum
it's
Mania?
the Stark Expo model, or the model that Thomas Wayne showed Bruce. The model that Thomas Wayne showed Bruce in Batman: The Dark Age #1.
Yeah.
It's like their vision for a brighter tomorrow. Vault-Tec in Fallout.
Yeah, Tony
It's like,
Stark's dad
everything is
in
gonna be
Iron Man
bad
2.
except for living in the vault.
Yeah, Tony Stark's dad was going to use giant reactors to make the city of the future and all that. And whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it
happen.
could just be like, hey, the Future Foundation is bringing tomorrow's advancements to you today, and then they never had the chance.
Right. A day of mourning as the Fantastic
But like maybe
Four.
we just been way overthinking it. Maybe maybe it's exactly what we said to begin with, is that they were scientists in the 60s. They got stuck on another plane of existence for 60 years. Now they're back.
Yeah, who knows?
I think that is more possible and palatable to movie audiences than like it's another dimension and they're another version. Like I don't think.
Yeah.
I think people are exhausted by unnecessary multiverse stuff. Like it's an interesting idea. It's so complicated and so many moving parts, and like you got to know who and Galactus in the first minute, and like that's a really cool image, but like I don't think we're going to see. I think it's going to be like Thanos at the end of the first couple, big Marvel connected movies, where it's like
Julia Garner shows up at the end.
Yeah.
Well, and that's because
not even. Yeah.
Well, because that's like when you think about like the first appearance of the Silver Surfer, he wasn't like, "Watch out, it's Galactus," and Galactus is like, "Hey, everybody!" Like he's coming, right? Like he's that's what I'm saying. Like the Silver Surfer's the scout. The Silver Surfer is has a job, and the job is basically like to find dinner for your master.
Yeah,
like that's the whole goal.
Yeah,
and so
he is DoorDash for Galactus. Yes.
Yeah, well, yeah, or like he's reading the menu. Like, what do you want today? It's like, I think I'll have Earth. So I don't think it's gonna. I think we're gonna see Silver Surfer zipping through.
Would you care for contactless delivery today, your master?
Earth is outside my delivery range.
I'm going to tell you right now, Earth gonna give you heartburn. So I think you should go elsewhere. It's too spicy there. It's awful. Everything tastes like misery. You don't want that. But so the idea of like Galactus in his little shorts, and it's going to be, I bet, the silhouette of the helmet and like the booming voice, like some thing coming, and
it's going to be a tease.
It'll be Javier Bardem's weird voice echoing through space or something. Yeah,
it'll be like Gilbert Gottfried,
I hope so.
voice. And,
Daddy's hungry.
I love it.
I'm hungry.
We don't need Javier Bardem. Get him out of here. He's done it. Please, we've seen enough of him trying to be solemn.
I think there
get
would
somebody
be.
else.
I love
there
Bardem.
there should be like a nice little bit of synergy, and let Lawrence Fishburne voice Galactus. Like, come on.
Oh, actually, you mentioned that, but there is like some hot rumor. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but there were some rumors of Keanu Reeves talking about a role.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know if-
Keanu Reeves.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
He's gonna be
Johnny, you very
he's gonna be Dracula and Blade.
There you go.
Yeah, I will take sexy Dracula, Keanu Reeves in Blade. 100%. Yes.
You can put whatever you want on your Blade vision board. That movie's never coming. Just, please.
You know what? I am playing, like, I am obsessed currently with Cyberpunk 2077. Several years after the fact, it's been patched to oblivion, and now it's an amazing game. It's great, full of content. And what I didn't know going into it is that Keanu Reeves is basically your best friend through the entire game.
Well, sort of. I mean, it's kind of a very love-hate relationship. Without saying spoilers.
Antagonist. Well, it depends on your choices. Yeah.
Exactly.
At first, it's antagonistic. Well,
Can you date him? Can you make choices to have sex with him? Is that something you can do?
No
actually,
spoilers.
there are. I'm not going to say nothing, but yeah, Johnny Silverhand is.
It's like when I played The Witcher 3, I had sex with anything that moved, man. I was just like, yeah, let's do it, weird dwarf. You too, cave troll.
Yeah, there is sex. That's all I will say.
You know what? Here's a spoiler for a 4-year-old game. Johnny Silverhand is from the year 2023. He's a digitized ghost, basically.
Neat.
Yep.
And so his consciousness is stuck in your head. And so, but like they showed him in the promos for the game, and I was like, "Ooh, fun! A cameo by Keanu Reeves." No, he's like the second main character.
Yeah, he narrates thoughts in your head sometimes, depending on what situation you're in.
That's neither here nor there, except to say that I'm so on board the Keanu train right now that they could cast him as literally anybody in the MCU, and I would be like, yes.
Yeah, I'm good.
On the video game front, did anyone jump on this Suicide Squad kills the Justice League thing?
Me and Joe played it before it released.
Damon and I played the closed beta, which we literally signed NDAs saying we would never talk about it, and then nobody honored them, and so now everybody's talking about it.
It's a wreck. It's a complete wreck. Like hackers got into it and shit now.
The closed beta was okay. It's just that the game wasn't that fun.
Yeah.
No.
But now apparently they're doing this like season pass thing where it's like season 1 of Kill the Justice League has finally arrived, and it's all about the Joker. It's the Joker
crap.
Yeah, it's all and that's like all anybody ever wanted was for Rocksteady to make another game in the DC universe like the Batman Arkham games.
Yeah.
And instead, they were like, let's make Destiny with the Suicide Squad, and nobody wants that shit.
Joe, you're wrong. They know what we want, okay? That's what you need to understand. You are the problem.
You know what really pisses me off about, speaking of that with the Arkham universe, considering I hope you love it. Well, Joe, you know kind of what happened, right? I mean, it was in the beta too with like what happened in the Batman universe to create the Justice League. It's kind of I don't say spit in the face of that, but it kind of does. Because it kind of ruins
in the Batman universe to create the Justice League?
Yeah. Well, it picks up supposedly from the Arkham game. And again, spoilers, I don't know if anyone cares, but
these are they made comics about this too, though, right? There was a comics that told the story. Yeah.
There was a Batman Arkham Knight comic.
Right.
Correct. But at the end of that, basically Batman, again, spoilers, he fakes his own. Yeah, he does kind of. He fakes his own death. I don't know what this whole situation in the other game where he actually is dead, but at the end of the last official Arkhamverse game, he dies. But not really. Right. But not really, because they show that he's alive. So in this version, he basically lays low for like years, apparently. Then the Justice League forms, Superman finds him out, kind of invites him over, and all of a sudden Batman is like part of the Justice League and is on like all like on lunch boxes and stuff like that. And that's basically how the Justice League formed in this new Suicide Squad verse, essentially.
That's really dumb.
Yeah. Man, I love it when they rewrite shit for video games to make it better.
Yeah. And they're implying that all of the Arkhamverse is canon, which makes this even worse because it basically means you're out to kill the original Batman.
And apparently in the game you actually do.
Yes,
you do.
You murder members of the Justice League.
That is what this game is about. Yes, that's exactly it.
I
Plus,
guess that's
microtransactions.
Right. Yeah. So Joker dies in Arkham City. and or
No.
first one, right? Oh no, Arkham City.
No,
Joker dies in
Arkham City, he dies, the virus. Yep.
He turns himself into a Bane, and yeah, and in Arkham Knight, they cremate his body, like they burn his body. So the Joker is dead.
Well, he's a playable character in season 1 now.
This Joker is from an alternate universe. Yeah. And so he's much more like comic-y looking. He's wearing the green suit, or like the purple suit. And I don't know, man. Apparently everything about it, this is minus whatever hacker stuff Matt's talking about that I did not hear.
Oh, they got hacked to hell this week.
Apparently all of the content of this season 1 Joker stuff is awful. Just like straight up terrible. It's
gotten a terrible review. And so some people data mined it and found all the skins for stuff that's going to be coming.
Oh, right.
And
they saw the plans.
Yeah. So there's a guy that was running around as Deathstroke with all of the special Deathstroke weapons, just murdering everybody. And they were like, what is that? And then like Green Lantern was there, and for some reason, Nora Freeze is a playable character. Victor Freeze's wife. I don't know, but like
they applied that in the game. It's whatever. It doesn't matter.
Dumb. Yeah, that's stupid. So not only is it a bad game, it's been completely hacked, and everyone's like, "This is unplayable, stupid bullshit." And all the stuff you wanted us to buy is here, and it's not that cool. So yeah, I don't think. It's
you know what? In the there's comics precedent for Nora Freeze because she wakes up in the comics. She woke up.
Yeah, I remember that. But was she? Oh, she was a bad guy too for a while, wasn't she?
I think she's around now.
She went full villain, didn't she?
She was definitely the Harley Quinn show.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It sucks. The Suicide Squad game sucks. I was not impressed with the beta, and everything that I thought about the beta seems to have borne out by the actual release of the game. So, save your money.
Save your
buy
money.
A different game, a different, more better game.
Yes, Nora Freeze is running around as a bad guy. She was later revived in the Lazarus Pit, yada, yada, yada. New 52. Let's see. She's got blue skin. She looks like Victor Freeze. She's doing Frozen stuff. So there you go. Neat. Fun.
Yeah.
Stuff that didn't suck. Star Trek Discovery is back.
Okay, no spoilers. No spoilers.
But it's back.
I forgot to watch it. I had a job interview yesterday. I totally forgot to watch it. Good Lord, man.
Honestly, I don't know that you could spoil the first episode because it's like the action starts in the first 2 seconds and then it doesn't stop in the end. We have to tune in next week to see if they're all fucked, basically.
They dropped 2 episodes at the same time.
Yeah, they did. I only watched the first one.
Okay. Watch the second one. You guys should watch the second one too because it's really I don't want to give anything away, but it basically sets up the plot for the entire season. And you know what? It's not bad.
No.
It's not a bad idea. And it's, this is, I don't want to get into it because there's a lot that I want to say.
I read the plot spoiler though, and I agree. I think this is going to be really cool.
Yeah. Although I did feel like I needed an anti-anxiety medicine after that first episode.
It was the most action-packed episode of Star Trek I think I've ever seen. It was nuts.
It was bananas. There was some stuff, they did some stuff that I was like, holy crap. Like at first I was like, this is so ridiculous. It's like, no, this is so Star Trek is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, it is ridiculous, but they keep it, look, there's people out there that talk a bunch of shit about how Discovery doesn't feel like Star Trek and whatever, and that's fine. It is a different take on it, and they're doing a different thing.
Right.
Now, I will still argue there are characters on that show that I am going to, like Saru. Oh my God, I love that character.
He's a great character.
I am going to miss him so much if he's not somewhere else on another show. And I this is a very, very minor spoiler, Joe, because she is in all the commercials, but I'm glad that Tilly is back and they're just like, yeah, she didn't go.
Not only is she back, and this is not a spoiler,
Joe,
because it's been talked about already. She's going to be in a new show called Starfleet Academy.
Yeah. Is that happening?
It is happening.
Okay.
It's like being developed. I think it's being developed right now. And because that Section 31 show is not a show anymore.
Yeah, it's a movie.
It's a movie.
Yeah.
So I think that they wanted to have a show that was based in this sort of timeline 1,000 years into the future, because it doesn't look like Star Trek Legacy is actually going to be made, even though people keep saying, please make Star Trek Legacy, this is what we really want.
The showrunner of Picard season 3, he's like, I would greenlight, or whoever, somebody at Paramount was like, I would greenlight Star Trek Legacy in a heartbeat, but it is out of my hands.
Yeah, that's basically what I've heard as well.
So the decisions need to be made above other people's pay grades for that show to get made.
Mr. and Mrs. Star Trek are being shitheads about it, or what's the deal? They're like,
I don't know. I mean, I don't know where the buck stops with Star Trek these days, because it's not the Roddenberrys.
no, I just like Tilly. It's like last season they were like, well, she's getting on a shuttle and she's sad. I'm like, goodbye, Tilly. I'm like, oh, we sure gonna miss you. And they're like, nah, she didn't go.
I mean, it's not like
she hasn't gone yet.
Flying into the sun.
Well, no, but
she's back and she's great.
No, but what I'm saying is
actor.
like she wasn't on the rest of the season either. They made it look like this is her send off. We're gonna have another show with her in it, and now they're like that show got pushed back. So yeah, she didn't go yet. Like, she's here.
I mean, look, it's like Michael Dorn, right? The Next Generation ended, and then the next thing you know, Worf is on Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
But you think when they made the next Star Trek movie that Worf wasn't going to be on the Enterprise somehow? Like,
of course he was.
Well, yeah, but
like they came up with some explanation for how the Defiant was fighting the Borg cube near Earth, and the Defiant got disabled, and they beamed Worf aboard, and now he's on the bridge.
But the Next Generation movies, they didn't give a shit, man. They were just like, don't worry, we'll fix it.
I mean,
we'll say that thing. They're like, no, good thing we did that thing, and you're still alive. Like, you got that right. Movie, keep going.
I just rewatched Star Trek First Contact last week, and it remains probably the closest thing we'll ever come to a perfect Star Trek movie.
It's one of my favorites, and
that's a great one.
It's great and everything.
It's a great one.
Yeah, but
Star Trek First Contact is incredible.
The guys at who do the Mission Log podcast they were kind of critical of it. They were kind of critical of the fact that they added the Borg Queen, and I thought that was actually probably a really great addition. I know. I mean, I like Mission Log. I like listening to it. I think it was a good show. It still is a good show. But I was like, well, I mean, I thought that having a queen was probably a good idea, because you can't have a collective without something sort of like being the input brain, the thing that sort of focuses what you need to do.
But it was also they totally explain it though. Like Picard, even like in the last season of Picard, where he was like, why is there even a Borg Queen? It makes no sense. You are a collective. She was like, well, we had to speak to you, and this is how you people understand. Like, you need a figurehead. You need someone to lead you. Just like you're a captain. She's like, but I am not a captain. I know you can't understand it, but I am for your benefit, more or less. And like the Borg was like, we'll just make somebody who's in charge. Sure. Her.
I mean, look, it's like lots of hive minds have queens. Like, there's a queen bee, there's a queen ant. Like, it makes total sense for there to be a Borg Queen to me.
Right.
Also, narratively speaking, you can't have a movie where the primary antagonist is nothing but voiceless robot monsters.
Well, sure,
right.
Yeah.
You have to have somebody for Picard to play against.
Yeah, that's a zombie movie, basically.
Right.
Well, I mean, I don't know how everybody feels about Rick and Morty, but in Rick and Morty, when they did the Unity. There's always one person that sort of represents unity at a time, which I thought was an interesting take on it. But it can switch from person to person.
I remember that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Like I said, Rick and Morty's kind of a touchy subject sometimes.
No, look, I still love it.
I mean, I don't even know what Unity is.
It's hilarious. I love Rick and Morty.
A long time.
Rick and Morty had a creator that
but not really.
was a crazy person, but the show is legit funny. Two things can be true.
Listen, I watched the latest season where
hilarious.
they replaced what's his face? I can't remember his name.
The asshole,
Justin Roiland.
And I thought, I really couldn't tell the difference between the Rick character, but I could hear it in Morty's voice. I could hear it in some of the other voices that it wasn't him.
Right.
But it was fine. The show was just as fun. I thought it was just as funny.
They even made fun of it a little bit. They was like, "What's wrong with you?" And he's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "What's wrong with you? You're different. What's wrong?" And he's like, he pulls a gun. He's like, "Don't kill me. Nothing's different." He's like, "Look, we talked about this. All right." He's like, "Oh, that thing. Right. Okay. Anyway." It's great.
Yeah.
Rick and Morty, the problem with Rick and Morty has never been the show. It's been the way the fans engage with it, and obviously the creator being a sex pest. But like the toxic kind of fandom that propped up around Rick and Morty was a real issue. And,
remember the meme with you have to be this smart.
The Mulan sauce. Yeah.
Yeah. So stupid.
Well, the whole thing with the Mulan sauce, and then they act like McDonald's capitulated, like, hey, guess what's back? It's Mulan sauce. Guess what? Mulan sauce isn't that great.
Yeah, well, I think they're just fucking with McDonald's. But this is how we got Morbius back on screen too. So I mean,
sure, yeah, whatever. Exactly. So, but Star Trek, I need to get on it. I need to get on Discovery. I'm very hyped. We saw. Frank shared with me Pike's Peak is back in action, which means that Anson Mount has been posting photos of him in the makeup chair getting his hair sculpted into the Captain Pike coif.
I would argue it stood on end might be a better way to describe it.
Sure.
He's like Guile from Street Fighter,
Right. Yeah. And then yesterday was First Contact Day.
Yesterday was First Contact
April
Day.
5th.
That's right. I forgot.
Was First Contact Day.
Look at this synergy, huh?
Yeah, man.
All right.
We had 4-4 Day and 4-5 Day. Gosh.
Super fun.
And today is 4-6 Day. Happy 4-6 Day, everybody.
All right. What else we got? What else we want to wrap about?
I'm sure something happened on April 6th that we can celebrate.
I've got the most boring lake house news ever.
Let's do it.
But
hit us with some boring news,
nice.
JD.
The Marvel Unlimited app has some updates that really minor UI things that actually just really made me happy. This is the smallest, dumbest thing, but they added a exit reader button.
That's
so
helpful.
I noticed that. Back out of the issue, you can actually, hit the button and takes you back to the previous menu we're on rather than having to.
Oh man, that's huge though.
Yeah, I used to shut down the app because it was faster to close the app and restart it. Like whatever.
Yeah. And then the other thing they've also done is so when you're in a reading guide, so if you're like in House of M or I was in Gang War. The next issue that it suggests is actually the next issue in the reading guide, not the next issue of the.
Oh my God,
that's great.
That's amazing.
So they put some poor intern to work actually, and they're like, "Hey, you know what we should do? We should let them read the next thing in the actual story."
I desperately I would desperately wish that DC Universe Infinite would do something like that, or things like the for any crossover.
Yeah.
There are tie-ins. But specifically the triangle era of Superman from the 90s where Superman was basically a weekly book and you followed the numbers along in the little triangles on the cover.
Right.
And instead, you have to not only know what the next issue in the triangle sequence is, like if it's Man of Steel number 37.
Mm-hmm.
You have to back out of the comic title that you're reading, find Superman the Man of Steel, find the issue you want, and then figure out what the next issue is. Like, it's a nightmare to read it in the sequence that the books came out.
Well, and DC printed, they printed trades of these. The
triangle era trades, yes. They were called Superman the Man of Steel.
You got it, you guys. Whatever. You have it. It's right there.
There's a triangle era omnibus.
Do it. We're not asking for anything new. Yeah. Come on.
Yeah, I feel like Marvel is really redoubling their efforts with the Unlimited app and with the digital comics because they're also the 3 months is kind of a suggestion now because they dropped all of Gang War in 2 chunks.
Yeah. They said at Comics Pro they're going to start dropping a lot of stuff day and date.
I think thematic, like based on things they want to promote. Like I saw a couple of things that were relevant to this week's. A couple of things that were relevant to this week's announcements were dropped for free on Marvel Unlimited.
That Blood Hunt's going to be day and date too, I believe. They said that whole crossover will be.
Good. I'm excited for.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. That's gonna be cool. Because like Fall of the House of X and Rise of the Powers of 10, those are all coming out this week or this month on Unlimited.
Real quick. And JD, you may want to plug your ears. I don't know if you're going to read that business.
But no, I don't care about spoilers.
Rise of the Powers of X, Part 3 hit.
Wet fart sound.
We got to that. Yeah, wet fart sound. We got to the point where here it is. They went back in time. Professor X is going to kill Moira. They're going to make him a villain. They're going to do it. He's going to kill little girl Moira. And it's all dramatic and it's very poetic because Kieran Gillen is writing it and he gets paid by the semicolon, I think. But, here we are. It's all happening. And he points the gun and he can't do it. And he gets interrupted by Phoenix, not Jean, but Rachel. And Rasputin.
Prestige.
And
she's
they're like,
Ascani
no,
now.
you can't do it. Don't do
She's
it.
Ascani now? I thought she was
Goes
Prestige.
by Ascani now. Prestige was a dumb nickname, and they stopped using it.
Ascani's stupid too. I hate Ascani.
She goes by Ascani.
God, that's dumb. I hate that. But regardless,
It's less dumb than Prestige. So.
it's less dumb
I
than
like
Prestige.
Prestige,
Prestige
personally.
sounds like an electronic car company that's going to show Elon how it's done or something. You know,
Or she's she's performing an illusion for you.
right.
You know?
So
Right.
So he shows up and he points a gun, and Rasputin and Rachel are like, "No, we can't do it this way. So we're the X-Men. We wouldn't do it." And he's like, "You're right. We're not going to." And he turns and he murders Rachel Summers.
Well, I don't think that's. I clearly don't think
heard
that's what's happening.
Kieran Gillen
I
said
already
she's
knew
dead.
that.
He's like,
That
he
was
killed her.
spoiled in an article.
Yeah, he
And,
said she's dead.
Yeah. Is there any indication why?
It's part of the plan. This is part of the plan.
So many things. Kieran Gillen said she's dead.
Yeah, he's like, she's dead. This is part of the plan. You'll see. Quit screaming and you'll see. He's like, this is part of the plan. But
Okay,
there
then
is
I
no
don't know why you're screaming then.
there is no Professor X in the coming stuff, right? All the pictures we've seen in Brevoort, we've got Professor Magneto.
Nah, unless he's prisoner.
He's Prisoner X.
But there's also that bald character walking with crutches.
I think he's going to be a full-on bad guy.
X, I
again.
thought.
And I am tired of bad guy Professor X. I have been exhausted by asshole Professor X for 30
we don't know
years.
anything that's going on. It's very clear that he did not actually murder Rachel. No matter what Kieran Gillen says, she might be temporarily dead, technically. But he shot her with a ray gun.
And bust a hole through her heart. It's gone.
The energy came through the other side. It's not like you see her chest exploding. There are all kinds of things that they could say where it's like, oh, okay, like maybe it was a neutralizer. Like one of Forge's neutralizers, and he wasn't going to kill Moira. He was just going to to her so her powers never kicked.
Nerd bet. Professor
Why
X
didn't they think of that at the beginning instead of the murder
absolutely
plan?
a villain at the end of all of this.
Fair.
He's absolutely going to be a villain.
Let's talk bet. Come on, man.
Yeah.
We've seen this before.
I'm not going to take that bet. I don't think they're going to make him a villain. But
Well, then take the bet. Bet against me then. If you don't
I am.
think-
No, that's what I mean.
Honestly,
Sorry, I
okay.
am betting against you.
Here's my thing, though, Matt. You say you're tired of bad guy Xavier. I'm tired of fence-sitting Xavier. I would love if they made Xavier a villain if they let him just fucking just say, all right, I'm done. And just, go full on. Because if Xavier ever really, truly went full villain, he would be terrifying.
I
And
think
it would
that's
be a truly
exactly
terrifying villain
where they
to
are
actually
going.
deal with.
I think Magneto and the
I
X-Men,
would love that.
their new mission is going to be to stop Professor X because he is a full-on villain now.
Him
That
from
would be
doing what?
I don't know yet.
I'm here for that. I am here for that story because we've had the whole Professor Xavier as a jerk forever, but it's always been, in interest of the greater good, he's got to do the bad things and all that. No. If we just have just full tilt, unhinged Xavier, that's not Onslaught, that would be
That's not Onslaught.
That would be interesting. That's a story. That's a story arc I would buy.
I think that's where they're going, JD.
I will happily smile up for that.
I think that's absolutely where they're going. Like Professor X is going to show like exactly how powerful he is, and he's going to be a villain that has to be stopped. He may not think he's evil, but the X-Men are going to say, "We got to stop this."
But what is he doing? What villainy? What's his motivation? All he wants is for his people to survive.
I get that, but
he
he's
doesn't want to
gonna,
exterminate humanity.
I'm not saying that. He's going to make some choice where he's resetting saving the timeline or something that's going to be very, very bad. And it is going to be a problem.
Yes.
And the X-Men are going to have to stop him now. That's where this looks like it's
Jesse
going.
Kiefer says, then Legion can go back in time and stop Bishop from stopping Professor X from stopping Moira.
Oh, yeah. We can do this for the next 30
Jesse
years.
Made another joke. Jesse made another joke a few minutes ago that made me think, what if he's not killing Rachel? What if he's making taking a calculated risk at shooting Rachel with that gun, whatever it is, will cause the Phoenix to emerge. You know, like what if in his mind it's like there's only one thing to do.
But Jean is already doing that. Jean's already got Phoenix stuff going on. She is directly tied into the Phoenix power right now.
I mean, is she though?
Yeah, and she has a book coming out called Phoenix.
Oh, that it's about Jean.
Right.
Jean is absolutely the star of the book.
Yeah, when she died, she ended up in the white hot room.
At first we thought the book was going...
half of the X-Men are in the white hot room right now, JD.
We thought the book was going to be called Jean Grey at first. No, like it's called Phoenix now with the X.
There's a Jean Grey miniseries.
The white hot room has become like a literal character limbo of like, put them there. Because we've got like, there are thousands of X-Men.
Yeah.
And there are too many moving parts for them to manage it through like 3 comics. So they have like jettisoned most of them to this like ambiguous place so that they can do this like whatever one is in the future of the rise and the power. Like half of them aren't even in the book. You know, like it's set in a different time, and then you've got the X-Men book, and then the other title now in the present, and them trying to figure stuff out with most of the hundreds and hundreds of characters we've seen for the last 5 years just not appearing, like because they're elsewhere, and so the White Hart room kind of doesn't have that meaning anymore. It's like Cyclops is like the bug room, like his like fear place. It's like it doesn't mean anything anymore. Like that, it's completely devoid of purpose. It's just a place that they go until they all get resurrected or whatever the hell they're going to do. And Rachel is from the future, so who knows who that is because we've seen her a million times. And they already announced that she's going to be in a couple book.
She's going to be in her new book with Betsy.
Yeah,
with Betsy, and they're going to be like they're going to be hooked up. So
they're romantically involved. Yeah.
Well, they are. They are a couple right now.
We saw them run around like in basically their underpants in the 80s all the time. So good for them.
It's true. Yeah. I mean, hard not to. I mean, like the X-Men back in the day. I mean, there wasn't any of them that might be like,
the X-Mansion was a horny place to be.
Yeah. But, I mean, I wouldn't say no to anybody, you know? And then like, I mean, people like Dupe.
You're like that in real life.
Dupe and Beak showed up later, and I was like, you know.
And you were like, maybe. Maybe.
I didn't say no. I said I'm not as excited, you know?
You'd say no to Gambit.
I wouldn't say no to Gambit. I would act like I'd play. I wouldn't admit it. I wouldn't admit it, but like I wouldn't say no.
Isn't there precedent in the comics that Dupe is like a real ladies' man? Like,
oh yeah. He had babes all around him every time.
Right, it's
no explanation why.
It's played for comedy, but like Dupe is a sex symbol.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So.
Him and Puck. Puck was a sex symbol too. Puck was always rolling like 4 ladies deep.
Oh yeah,
I loved him. All right.
Yeah, but I mean, we can understand why.
It's 11:59, but I'm gonna go push a little overtime here so we do the question of the week. We did comic book red. What do we say? Red lights. Where we're like, okay,
red flags.
You're into garbage.
Was last week.
Comic book green flags. Things that like Someone comes to you and go, yeah, I'm into comics. I read this and this, or I grew up reading this. And you go, you know what? That nerd, they're okay. What are your comic book green flags? I can tell you, Wooly Toots and I met through a comic book green flag in summer school because we were both terrible at algebra, but good at geometry. So we had to go to summer school. And I believe at that time, I was reading Alien Legion, and he was like, that book rules. He's like, I love that book. And I was like, oh, shit, this guy's okay. Like, right on. And then we were friends ever since. That was it. It was crazy.
I think I said in the Discord, if anyone says they like Atomic Robo, I know they're okay.
That's quality nerd. Quality nerd there. If you're into Atomic Robo,
because it's also one of those books that, like, if you know, you know. It's not a book that, like, the Muggles are gonna know about.
It's not Hellboy, right?
Right.
Even though
or your Saga.
Hellboy is a recognizable name.
Sandman or Saga or something.
Even though
like that,
Atomic Robo is just Hellboy with science.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, if somebody says Atomic Robo, it's gonna be.
It's a deep cut. Yeah. It's not like.
Yeah, it's a deep cut.
Not like Camelot 3000 deep cut or anything, but you know,
it's approachable.
Yeah,
it's just fun. It's just fun comic booking, you know.
I mean, an easy answer for me is Starman. If I find out that somebody loves Starman,
absolutely.
I know that Brian and I bonded over Starman, and it's just like it's one of those books that, like, it's the comic fans' comic, right? You know, like Sandman is something that goth nerds in college like, and then they may never read another comic book again.
Sure.
But Starman is something that is like it's like Atomic Robo, where it's like, if you know, you know, kind of books.
Yeah. Okay. This one I'll say is a purple flag. It might be a red flag.
Is that good or bad?
It means more investigation.
Flag,
you know, we're not stopping the race, but we need to investigate this accident.
Have a good conversation, but that's the Invisibles.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. No, I agree because, like, look, I love the Invisibles. I'm not going to tell you it makes a whole lot of sense, but, like, I'm a Grant Morrison apologist, and I'm right there. Like, I admit it. I got a problem. If Grant Morrison puts it out, I'm going to read it and be like, hey, I had a good time. 7 Soldiers? Yeah. No, didn't make any sense. Loved it. You know, like, thought it was great.
There is a very, and I'm sure I'm going to say this and we can all imagine, there's a very certain dude who says, oh, I love the Invisibles. You'd say, no, thanks, man.
Yeah.
I got, I don't have time to hear whatever your nonsense that you, I don't want to hear it.
It is not my favorite Grant Morrison. If someone comes, oh, I love Grant Morrison. The Invisibles was the best thing he did. I'd go.
I think I was that guy all through my 20s. Okay. I'm pretty sure I was that guy all through my 20s.
Fair.
I think I got a couple.
Were you wearing like a smoking jacket? You know, like that kind of guy?
No, I will own up to the fact that I had a leather trench coat. So
yes.
we know your vampire cosplay days. We've talked about that. We know that.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
Frank, you said you got a couple.
I got a couple.
Okay.
One, if anybody who was a fan of milk and cheese.
Yes.
Yes.
You're okay.
There you go.
Yes.
You are okay. You're okay.
You know what? I would throw the Tick in with that as well.
You know
the Tick comics.
Scud the Disposable Assassin. If you were into Scud the Disposable Assassin, you're all right. Yes. Scud was such a great book.
And if you like John J. Muth's artwork, like you like his comics.
John J. Muth.
I loved Moonshadow. I loved it. It was great. It was like it was beautiful, and I followed anything he did. He was one of my, and anybody who liked him, I knew they could appreciate art and they loved comics.
Right on.
Yeah.
Mosaic fan art said, if you come at me knowing that all the TMNT had red masks when the book went color, then that's cool. You're pals. And that he is working on his TMNT Mosaic, and 4 people have DM'd him to tell him he's gotten the masks wrong.
So when I worked in the comic shop with Joe, there was a bunch of like John Byrne nerds, and I was like, ugh, whatever. You John Byrne nerds just talk on and on and on. John Byrne Superman, John Byrne's Fantastic Four, like whatever. And I thought I hated John Byrne just from listening to all these jerks. And I was like, I mean, he's good, I guess, but whatever. But then I was like, oh shit, you know what? If you're a John Byrne fan, you come to me and be like, yeah, Superman was great. I liked his Fantastic Four, but He's Alpha Flight. Like, fuck yeah, dude. You're okay.
Oh, yeah.
You and me, we can talk, brother. All right. You're into Sasquatch and the crew. I am down.
I'm gonna add one to what Frank said about like Milk and Cheese and those guys. I'm gonna also say Sam and Max.
Sam
and Max, freelance police.
Sam and Max, wonderful. Yeah, wonderful.
That's another deep cut, but it's like I used to hand that book to people and say, if you don't laugh, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
We did Sam and Max for that Cosmic Long Box episode a year or two ago, and it was great fun.
Kiefer, if you're not careful, we're gonna put you in charge of the band so you can do like the ba-dum spas, in the background.
Dude has done nothing but make puns for an entire hour, and I don't know why his microphone's not.
I love it. All right.
We've heard him talk. He used to call into the show.
We are overtime. I got to get out of here. This was super fun. I feel like we came to grips with our Fantastic Four theories. We all feel better. Right? And we talked some Star Trek. It was a good time. We didn't get into this stupid Superman rumor that James Gunn debunked in the best way this week. It was great. Like some shit by all with their like, I've got the inside scoop and there's going to be a clone of Superman. It's going to be Superman versus Ultraman. And James Gunn was like, no. Shockingly, Superman will be the protagonist and Lex Luthor will be the villain. Okay. Thanks, guys.
I saw him post another thing yesterday. It was his dog. His dog was in Rachel Brosnahan's chair. The chairs that say like characters' names on. And he's like, I hate to break it to you guys, but Lois has been recast and she is a real nightmare on set. So I love that he's out there just like fucking with fans.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. We didn't talk about the Thunderbolts. Florence Pugh giving the sneak peek of the Thunderbolts.
So there's like, there's like a whole thing where it's like she wasn't supposed to do that, and then it's
of course she wasn't. But she didn't actually show anything.
No, she didn't show shit.
Right,
and she was like, "Oh, sorry, I forgot. I didn't know." Like you forgot, Florence.
It was just obviously it was
okay.
Actually, it was an authorized tease, but yeah, I saw that. But like, look, at least we know that some of these things are progressing.
Yeah,
that seem to have fallen by the wayside or been deeply delayed. At least we know some of these things are actually coming. Like the Section 31 Star Trek movie is filming.
We have seen evidence that movie could be being in the process of being made right now, whereas Blade still an idea.
Blade right now is still just a theory. Everything about Blade right now is purely theoretical.
Yeah.
I did hear that Daredevil Born Again wrapped, actually. They're done. So
they are done.
Yeah.
And Barenthal
they showed the Punisher photo too with John Bernthal.
Barenthal, he's there.
Yeah, he's supposedly going to be in it.
And again, he supposedly spilled the beans. Like, sure you did.
Okay.
Like, yeah, all right, whatever you say.
Those beans were already out of the can.
Yeah, we knew. All right, I got to get out of here. Good gang hang, guys. We will see everybody next week. Until then, it's Two-Headed Nerd signing off.
Watch Star Trek.
Yeah, Joe, get to work.
All right, because I'm going to talk about it a lot.